There are many, many strange tales in this universe, and since time immemorial the world of jinns and ghosts has been treated as a mysterious world, so it revolves around it a lot of strange tales, and renewed legends. Among those tales is the story of the kidnapping of the girl Anne Jeffries, that girl who said that the jinns kidnapped her and that she ate with them. That story happened in a village in southwest England called St. Teth's Village, and that girl was born in 1626 to a poor family whose father worked as a simple peasant and raised her after her mother died, and when she reached the age of 19 years of youth, her father sent her to work in Mr. Pete's house. Everything was so fine that something so strange happened that no one could imagine. In 1656 AD, the girl was as usual knitting wool in the garden of the house. And she felt that someone was watching her from afar, but she did not pay any attention to it, and after a while she heard a movement in some grass, and suddenly 6 dwarfs came out of it, and surrounded her after they jumped over the fence. The dwarfs were dressed in green clothes, and their eyes radiated a strange light, and then the leader came forward wearing a hat topped with a red feather, and he spoke to her with words and removed all the fear of her, and when she reached out her hands to shake hands with him before her, and then the dwarfs attacked her until they kissed her, and then they put his hand on her eye and the girl felt tingling, and when she closed her eye it was dark, and then she did not see anything, and then she felt that she was rising to the sky, and then moments later she landed on the ground. And when the girl opened her eyes she found herself on the land of dreams. The land was green and all the trees were decorated with strange-looking flowers, and all the birds standing on it were bright in shape, and the rivers were clear and swim in them gold and silver colors. All the people in that land were dressed very brightly, dancing to the tune of music. The girl walked a lot and found herself wearing beautiful jeweled clothes, and the girl was surprised by an attack from the evil dwarfs, and they prevented the assault on her, and the leader tried to defend her. One of them put his hand on her eye and she found herself again in the garden of the house of the master she works for, but she could not move from the stress and slept in her place, and after Mrs. Pitt found that the girl had been absent for a long time, she went to look for her and found her lying on the floor in a convulsive state, and ordered the other maids to take the girl to the room and asked for a doctor, and all the doctors were unable to diagnose her condition, and the girl remained bedridden for several months. After a long period of tiredness in the harvest season, the girl stood on her feet and was moving slowly. At that time, Mrs. Pitt went to the neighboring village to do some work, but she had an accident on her way back. The accident caused a wound in her foot. The girl asked to see the lady, so she grabbed her foot. Suddenly the miracle happened, the pain disappeared, and the lady's leg was healed. The lady was able to know the reason from now on and the secret behind what happened to her. She told her what happened to her and told her that no one knows about her relationship with dwarfs and her ability to heal so as not to experience a lot of trouble in her life. But she continued to treat strange cases, which actually caused her trouble, until the city judge Jean Tridgigel reported her to the higher authorities, and the authorities issued a warrant for her arrest, and the court transferred her to 1646 AD. She was subjected to a harsh investigation, and the girl was imprisoned under tight guard, and food and drink were forbidden from her, but with the sympathy of the people she was released. But despite the time she spent without food, but the girl's health was very good and was not affected. Because of the many troubles, Mrs. Pitt decided to send her to live with her widowed sister in the city of Padstow, and the girl lived in the town and treated people there on a small scale, and then moved to live with her brother and married William Wardnow and lived with him in the city of Devon and lived a quiet life until she died in 1698. Movan Her secret with her wrote this story. The young Moses who lived with her in the house of Mr. Pitt wrote the story in 1696 AD. Historically, there is a girl with this name at that time, but historians say that he had epilepsy.